All right, guys, welcome to another State of the Franchise Deep Dive Edition. I said that backwards, okay? All right, I've done two of these videos now, and I've screwed up the intro on both of them, and it's starting to frustrate me. This is a Deep Dive Franchise Edition, not a franchise Deep Dive Edition. Restart, okay? Roll it back. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jeffrey John. This is another Deep Dive Franchise Edition. State of the Franchise Edition. All right, we're moving on, okay? We're going to talk about the Frogs today. That's all you need to know. Forget the intro. I'm just going to stop doing them at this point. You know, I feel like I think I get so frustrated because I know what y'all are thinking when I make these videos and I screw up like that. I can hear you all laughing. I can hear y'all criticizing me. And it just hurts, okay? So we're just going to move on. You can forget about it. I can forget about it. State of the Franchise. Bullfrog Edition. This is their team. You might be saying, hey, Jeff, these are all real NBA players. I thought they weren't on teams. Yes, I pride myself. I spent a lot of time, unlike our NCAA league, it's a shot at Josh and Bean. I told them they should take all the old NBA players and turn them into random AIs, but I didn't need to take that shot, okay? But irregardless, these guys, the point I'm making is they have no team right now. The Bullfrogs are empty, okay? They've got nothing. Nothing. These guys aren't on the roster. There is no roster. It's just not possible to have no roster. So these Bullfrogs are starting at ground zero. I think their only salary cap item right now is Oliver Barber, trade pending. So for the purpose, I mean, the trade's going to go through. So for the purpose of this video, because the trade's pretty set, I'm going to say the Bullfrogs have 10 million cap space. That's all they have. So they have 140 to spend. So the first move that we know they're going to make is this. Like, they've already announced it. This is their franchise. Mr. Josh Robinson. That's their team so far, okay? I'm the Bullfrogs. I got Josh Robinson. I'm happy, yada, yada, yada. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I agree. Josh Robinson should be the number one overall pick. One of the most active user players. He's a co-commission now because he's been so active. He's great. Great attitude. He wants to sign long term. He's the type of person that won't. He's the type of person to rebuild with. And what I mean by that is you get like a Jeffrey John. I'll use myself as an example. That way I don't take shots at anybody else. But like a Jeffrey John. The Talons attempted to rebuild with Jeffrey John, and within one season, Jeffrey John was so fed up with losing that he started demanding a trade. You're not going to get that from Josh Robinson, as he seems more patient, willing to wait, bide his time. He reminds me of like a Dame Lillard, where it's like, no, I want to stay here. I'm not letting you trade me. I'm a Bullfrog for life. We're going to win this thing together. That's the type of vibe I get from a Josh Robinson. So, although I keep talking about how I think Josh Robinson's not necessarily a good first overall pick because you can't win games with a center, I believe that. It might not be a hot take, but I believe it. I do agree with him being number one for the reason I just said, the whole loyalty factor. You're going to get a lifer in him, and that's just value. Like, you can't measure that value. So you got Robinson. You got 140 in cap room. So let's say draft picks channel again. I'm using my phone on the side here. Draft picks by team. What else do the Frogs have going on for them? They got 2 firsts. 2 seconds. The Cayman, which will end up being the number 3 and then the BullFrogs. So they got the first pick in the second round and the third pick in the second round. So with that being said, they'll land a late. They'll land a. If I'm the BullFrogs, honestly, some of these user players are so inactive, I might take the AIs over them because, yes, and Isaiah Thomas is a 77, 76 overall, good build, but if he never earns a single attribute point, he's never going to get past 76. Doesn't matter how long he's in the league. So I'm honestly considering some of these AIs with those picks over some of the user players, but I'm wondering if some of the better user players, like lower end ones that maybe just haven't had much chance to upgrade yet, might fall to these picks. So let me tell you who I'm thinking of here. This is who I'm thinking might be available, and for the sake of this video, I'm not going to spend too much time debating it. I'm just going to say he is. And if I am the Frogs, I'm pulling the trigger on it. Ben Adams. Okay, I'm not going to spend as much time talking about it as I did in the Chupacabras video. Go check it out on YouTube now if you guys want to see that one. But the reason why I'm high on Ben Adams is Jay Blinko has 1,500 points to spend. And when I say Jay Blinko, I mean in Discord, his name is Jay Blinko. He attends every single video. You guys will always see him there. Him, Juan Carter, at everything. So he's constantly racking up the points. And he's got 1,500 right now to spend. And Jay Blinko, his main focus is a 92 overall. So a couple things to say about that. He's got a history of staying committed. This guy's a reporter, a GM, a player in this league. This guy's a boardroom member because he was part of the founding fathers. That's what I call us now, by the way. This guy's not going anywhere. And look at Jay Blinko. By the end of year one, 92 overall. He'd be higher if he could spend more points on him, but he's maxed out. So his main focus players maxed. Ben Adams is getting every one of the points. Okay, number two. Ben Adams was a late addition to the NCAA season. Jay didn't create him until close to the deadline, close to All-Star break. That's why he didn't get any upgrade points last year. Jay basically said, Ben got us a late start. He was all excited about Ben Adams when Ben joined Amar Bryant, and then the Amar Bryant thing went down, and Ben was all alone at Norfolk State and didn't have any reason to upgrade him. So he's focused on Jay Blinko. Okay, well now it's time for Ben Adams. So I say the BullFrogs grab Robinson number one and Ben Adams with that number one second round pick because I guarantee you this. I guarantee it. 86 overall by the end of the season, minimum. Minimum. I guarantee it. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually a 90. But he's a 6'8 small forward, 3 and D wing. All right, that's just a flippin' fantastic build to go with your two-way inside the arc scorer paint beast. That's just a great combo. And then at that number 3 pick in the second round, I'm thinking you might be able to land another user player like a Sal Q, but I know the Frogs aren't high on Sal Q. I'm gonna go with an AI in this situation because I think Austin King will be gone. I think Woodson will be gone. I think a lot of the user players are gone, so I'm just gonna assume it, and I'm gonna say he's gonna end up having to take his. I'm gonna let him have the first choice in an AI because I don't think anybody else will take an AI before him. I could be horribly wrong, but I'm going to say he drafts a Ross Bacchus. So then you're looking at it just after the draft. The draft alone. This is how I'm looking if I'm a BullFrog. I mean, heck, okay, I'm talking about Ben Adams like being an 86 overall by like the end of the season. He might be a flippin' 82 overall by the start of the season. He's got 1,500 points. So you got Ben Adams, Ross Bacchus, Josh Robinson. Your forwards, you're set. And I love this. You got a playmaker here. Ross is a rebounding defensive playmaker. You got a sniping defender. And you got a paint beast as your team leader. So after the draft, I'm the Bullfrogs, and I'm feeling good. Look at my squad. Free agency hits. I got 140 to spend. I'm just going to say they decide to do 2 max contracts, which would be 90. I mean, it's a bidding war, so it's hard for me to predict. But let's just say because the Bullfrogs have so much money to spend, they get their guy. I'm giving them their guy. They get the best available free agent, and that's going to be Vern Beard. 87 overall, user player. Let's say I'm not going to go with a crazy number, but let's say they spend 50 million on Vern. All right. Bullfrogs GM Juan Jose's got a weird crush on my wife, who is Vern Beard. So that's why I'm going with this one. Juan Jose loves my wife, wants to be with her. He told me himself. So he signs her for $50 million. I'm just throwing a random number out there, okay? I'm just assuming other people are going to want to fight for Vern. I know the Dragons are probably going to want Vern back. Vern played really well last season. But I'm just going to say the Bullfrogs outbid everybody, spend $50 million on Vern Beard this season. And that's the thing, too, is Vern Beard is going to choose whoever convinces her, irregardless of money. So it's going to be a sales pitch thing. He might be able to get Vern for less than 50 mil. Vern's definitely. Stingrays GM built 2 players, Vern Beard, Victor Lynn. Victor Lynn is a greedy MFer, and Vern Beard is supposed to be a very selfless, team-first basketball player. So, me and my wife both gave our players personas, if you couldn't tell. That's how I know that. But all right. That's what the Bullfrogs did. They landed Vern Beard. And crazy part is they get their second favorite choice because of how much money they have. I'm just going to go, they get 2, fudge it. I'm going to give them the next 2 players. They got so much money, they'll be able to get their next 2 choices. And in my opinion, the best 2 options are going to be Khalil Fox, and then I'm looking at a 6th man in Vince Hart. This is my roster. Because I'm going to say with 140 million, they can basically spend 50 million per player, like 40, 45, 46, and they're going to get Vern Beard, Khalil Fox, Vince Hart. And their guards are set. And then what they have to do is go out and with the vet minimums fill the rest of their roster. So what I'm going to do here is speculate and show you guys what vet minimums might look like out of free agency. Vet minimums are basically going to be free agents that nobody else bids on. So you might wind up with a you might get lucky and get a Rudolph Conley. Roland Graves, I think he played so well for the Hornets. He should be picked up. John Wright Foreman would be a really good example. And/or Kafka would be a really good example because those are for sure not going to have bidding wars going on. And then let's say they get a Joshua Morgan from the Tornadoes. This is the squad I built using the philosophy of 3 max contract free agents and a couple of minimums. I drafted Bacchus and Robinson and Ben Adams. Those are my future. Picked up Vern Beard. Now I got a big 3. Vern Beard's going to be a 90. Robinson's going to be a 90. Ben Adams will be high 80s by the end of the season. I've got a big 3 year 1. That's insane. That is insane. And then I've got some good AIs to build around. Vince Hart, Bacchus, Khalil Fox. This squad here, a very, very high chance that this could happen. Very high chance. This squad here competes this season. Not joking. Not joking. With the right game plans, this squad competes. And then you're looking at the bench, and you got, they're going to need one more. I'm short one. Let's go see what a. And you got to remember too. I'm trying to be safe with my predictions. There's crazy stuff that happens. Like I said earlier, they could get Vern Beard for less than 50 million, and they might have. Let's say they do. Okay, let's say they get Vern for 25, 30 because nobody else wants to go that high, and they're able to put a little bit of money into their point guard spot off the bench. Let's say they get a lower end point. Let's say they grab Braxton Gaffney. That's not unrealistic. You're looking at Braxton Gaffney, Khalil Fox, Josh Morgan. The reason I picked him as a vet minimum slash like low cap player is he came from the Assassins and Tornadoes. He used to be a small forward. Let me show you his build a little bit here. He's 6'8", 51 badge, perimeter defender. He was a small forward that the Tornadoes played at power forward. So I picked him up to move back to the power forward position. Small forward position. John Wright Foreman is somebody who's always played really well for his overall. And this is why I keep telling people not to spend a lot of money or high draft picks on center unless you're 100% sold on your guy. Because people like John Wright Foreman, he was the Assassin's starting center when they won a finals. He was the best player on the Venom last season. John Wright Foreman is a successful center at 78 overall, being 7 foot. So this is the state of the BullFrogs. Like in year one, this is a very realistic expectation, and this is what I had happen. Fear the frogs. That's all I'm saying, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you too are excited for the off season. Drop a like. Hit that comment button. You know what? I know I messed it up. I stayed committed to the end. Okay? I can feel y'all giggling. Remember, go check out the other State of the Franchise videos that I've posted. Catch you guys in the next one.